To sum up, we've had an amazing ride here at Tesla, and I'm so excited to lead this company into the future. With that, I'll take any questions from the audience. Yes?
Mr. Musk, I am a very tiny shareholder with only the exact amount of 2 shares. But as all the other investors in this room, I'm mainly interested in one thing. You guys have not made a single penny yet. When is this company going to become profitable?
Stop. You all know what this feels like, don't you? And this is not where you want to be. Today, we will provide you with one of your last lessons at the GSB. A lesson on how to answer tough business questions. There are 3 types of tough business questions. The first are those questions for which you do not have an answer. The second are those questions for which you cannot provide an answer. And the third are those questions for which you are guilty as charged. We will provide you with an example of each one of these questions and then offer some suggestions on how to best address each of those questions. But first, I would like to offer credit to Jerry Weissman's book, In the Line of Fire, from which we synthesized many of these suggestions. So, what does it look like when you don't know the answer to a question? When is your Hawaii office opening? I'm looking for a job.
Are you kidding me? I'm the CEO of Tesla, for crying out loud. I have better things to worry about. Maybe August or December.
Stop. There is a much better way to address a question for which you do not have an answer. First, begin by rephrasing or restating the question as you best understood it. This will do 2 things. It'll ensure that the audience member feels heard, but it will also confirm for you the question for which you must ultimately provide an answer. Second, no audience member expects you to be a walking encyclopedia. So if you don't know the answer, admit it. You really have nothing to gain and have everything to lose by lying. If you lie, you provide inaccurate information, and you risk damaging your reputation. Finally, best practice is to actually commit to following up, and do follow up. You can even demonstrate this intent by asking for that audience member's business card or contact information. So, let's try that again. When do you open your Hawaii office? I'm looking for a job.
So you want to know when you might be able to apply for a job in Hawaii. To be honest, I don't know exactly when our Hawaii office will be opening. However, I do know that we are rapidly expanding all across the globe and are looking for talented individuals in many locations. I do actually have my head of HR, Leslie, here with me. She'd be happy to meet with you after this presentation. She'd know when the Hawaii office will be opening, and she'd be happy to answer any other questions that you might have.
Now, what do you do if you receive a question to which you cannot answer? Maybe because of confidentiality reasons. Let's try this. Mr. Musk, can you comment on your negotiations with local state authorities in the jurisdictions where Tesla cannot currently open any stores? Have you made any political contributions in those states, maybe?
Of course. We'd be silly not to. We have a good friend, an old fraternity brother of the CFO, Jerry Arlen. He's in Texas, and conveniently, he sits on the Texas Transportation Board. Needless to say, we think we have pretty strong negotiating leverage with the auto dealers there. We're currently in negotiations to get full access to sell in the state of Texas, and it should be done in a couple weeks.
Wow, I'm sure Jerry Arlen will love to see this back on television tonight. First, if your company policy states that you cannot share any information, just say so. Everyone knows that certain information cannot be shared, and no one will be surprised with that. However, try to do so in a positive way. Rather than saying, our company does not share this kind of information, try to say, our company policy only allows to share information that has been previously released in press releases. Second, if you can't share certain information, give a reason for why you can't share that information. You can attribute this to privacy or security or data sensitivity, for example. Third, if you have any extra relevant information to share, do so with your audience. And last but not least, never ever answer this question by saying, if I tell you, I'll have to kill you. So let's try that again. Mr. Musk, can you comment on your negotiations with local state authorities in jurisdictions where Tesla cannot open any store currently? Did you make any political contributions in those states, maybe?
So we want customers to be able to buy a Tesla wherever they live. And as you allude to, unfortunately, that's not today's reality. However, we are in negotiations with several state authorities across the United States, and we're working hard to bring Tesla customers those cars. However, to keep open and honest negotiations, it's our policy not to comment on ongoing discussions. But I can assure you that we're working tirelessly to allow every customer to be able to buy a Tesla where they live.
That was way better. You're doing well, but you're not off the hook yet. I still have one more question for you and one more advice for you. What should you do if the questionnaire has a valid point? What if he asks something that points out one of your weaknesses? So let's try this. Mr. Musk, how do you expect anyone to buy a car from you if they are expected to spend 75 minutes at a charging station?
Did you get this information from the University of Phoenix? Who let this bozo in here? No. Our customers have shown no reticence to buy cars if they take a long time to charge. We have no problems with this at all.
How would you feel if you were the questioner? How would you feel if a valid concern is dismissed in this way? I will explain you a better way of answering, a different way of answering. First, paraphrase the questioner and reframe the question in a way that you show that you listened and you change the tone of the question to make it more positive, to make it more propositive. Then, agree with the questioner. He has a valid point. Show him that you're on his side. You're not an opponent. And then say loud and clear, but, and make a U-turn to change the tone of the answer in a positive way so you can present evidence to defend your own position while still acknowledging the existence of this issue. And finally, you have to conclude with a strong statement. So again, Mr. Musk, I will have you a second chance. How do you expect people to buy a car if they are expected to spend 75 minutes at a charging station?
What I'm hearing from you is that you have a concern that people might not want to purchase a Tesla if it takes a long time to recharge. I think that's a valid concern, and it's something that I spend a lot of time thinking about. Currently, it takes about 40 minutes for us to give the car an 80% charge, and the 75 minutes you mentioned is for a full charge. But we've been working really hard and have taken several important steps to try to mitigate this issue. Firstly, we just introduced battery swaps, where people can come into a station, switch in a new battery in 90 seconds. That's faster than filling up a tank of gas. And secondly, we're constantly working to improve our battery technology. And as we can charge the car faster, we're going to get people out on the road faster, and more people will want to buy our amazing vehicles.
That was the answer I wanted to hear the first time. Congratulations. So let's recap. What did we learn today? We learned how to answer 3 questions. When you don't know the answer, say so, and offer follow-up. When you can't answer, just don't, but always provide a reasonable explanation for not answering. And when the questioner has a valid point, admit guilt. It's fine. It's good to connect with them. But you have to spend enough time to defend your position and to explain why the concern has been addressed. We have seen him, how he evolved throughout the presentation. He has successfully answered 3 questions, and he's ready to take the 4th one from you.